Some people dream of success while others wake up and work hard for it. At SOUQ News TV, we dream big dreams, we awake, get fresh, and work smart for it. A SOUQ morning to you and yours. Welcome to SOUQ News Television this lovely Clement morning. I'm Mbah, and this is SOUQ Business Landscape. You know what we do on the show. We'll take a short, quick break. When we return, I'll let you know what's going to be happening or what's been happening since the wee hours of this morning. Stay here. Welcome right back. No coffee this morning, I know, right? It's a different kind of hot that we're doing. My guest is here, Dr. Idahosa Osamhanze, looking all sporty on a Friday morning. How you doing, sir?
Thank you.
Awesome. I like the smile on your face.
Great morning, Nigerians, Africans. One love, keep us together.
I knew you were listening to Bob Marley this morning. All right, we'll jump right on to business publications. We're looking at headlines that pertain to us and concern us. We're jumping up with Business Day Nigeria, as usual. From blackboard to smartboard, tech redefining Nigeria's learning system. This explores the transformative journey of educational technology, of course, tracing its roots evolution from back in the day traditional chalkboard to cutting edge smartboards. So we picked on this article because it also gives us a glimpse at the future where emerging technologies promise to create even more immersive and tailored educational environments, and anyone that is not in this is going to miss out. And one of the reasons again is people are having classes from across the world. I know Nigerian teachers that are having classes that are being paid many times ahead. They're teaching children in Canada, teaching children at the Netherlands, and this is what I think this headline is trying to tell us. What's your view, Doc?
Well, as I was just reminiscing the nostalgia of being those days as a young boy, you are going to school with a slate, you know. I don't know.
Yes.
And you have to grind your charcoal to blacken it every morning and stain your white.
I remember so clearly.
I can imagine how the world has transformed. But I don't know many people, whether Gen Zs, we know what a slate look like. Or even the millennials may not even know what a slate look like.
They missed out on it.
Yeah, but it is nice to see this transformative journey, learning put at the doorstep of every child. And what we become now is not a function really of whether government or state not doing things right. It's now your failure as an individual
Yes.
to hook on to where a lot of things can be really acquired. I remembered when I was doing my theological education, and I had to rely on professors from Harvard, from Yale, master seminaries, all in the United States of America, Oxford, and to even follow their classes online.
Yes.
So I didn't need to be in Oxford to learn what the students they were learning, because most of all these things are now right there on the internet. And I think this is one of the beauty that technology has brought to the world, and that is really quite positive. A lot of people have learned coding just by mere staying with YouTube.
Yes.
And they become
watching those videos,
really become successful.
And a lot of schools actually online. It's basically what they do.
Oh yeah.
They send you materials.
Oh yeah. So I think that democratization of the learning space that technology had enabled is a positive. And I think everyone, old, young, should be able to take advantage of this space to really improve. You see, there are a lot of paid courses out there, but there are also free ones that you can actually access and then develop yourself. Once people can have that growth mindset and look out for opportunity, if you can't read, you can hear. So the beauty is just to see that technology has revolutionized education system and the way people are learning from what people call kinesthetic nailing, where people can actually use your hand to demonstrate audio visual, and it's all working for our good. So you can interact with your board in real time in a class.
Across the world.
Yes, of course. You are sitting down here and your board is connected to solutions, and your children are...
Well, Doc, it's amazing that this started just during the COVID period. It's really even more amazing that people thought this from a problem, a solid solution came forth and it broke.
I think it's just the fact that people back in the third world were just embracing that technology. It has been there, really.
But not as big as it
yeah,
became.
it may not be as big.
Yes.
Yeah, but the embrace now is that people realize that a time can come again when the world can actually be shut down like it was during the social distancing program. Because nobody envisaged that we can shut our world for 6 months. And there was no movement, and it did happen. And now people say, okay, well, there's a solution. What's the solution? We can actually leverage the internet to create a solution. I heard this first time, I think it was around 2004, 2006, when, of course, Philip Emeagwali was started to have said that the United States, America was really investing heavily on the internet system to ensure that people can actually stay in the comfort of their home and have a board meeting and do a handshake without physically meeting.
As far back
as 2000, year 2000. So they've said that, and here we are, and that's happening right now.
Amazing stuff. Pension assets grew to 21 trillion on compliance. So pension assets increased in May, just a few months ago, by 14% year on year and just 1% month on month. This is amazing because 1% is an increment. This is according to a report by the National Pension Commission, PENCOM. And according to analysts, the growth in assets under management is driven, what they call AUM, is moved by two significant factors, which are one, compliance at the micro pension plan level by small enterprises and skilled individuals, as well as compliance by larger cooperatives who want to participate in federal government contracts. And this is a huge thing, though, increments.
Yeah, I think that's also fine to see that when people want to deal with government, you have to comply.
We've had issues in the pension.
Yeah, but it's actually a worry. I did a study for a particular PENCOM
research
in 2006. Yeah,
research.
Oh yes, when the law came into effect, and because it was new, the contributory pension was new, the Act of 2024. Those are the good things that came through Obasanjo, was to see how those who have served the nation and haven't retired will need to be queuing, dying on the queue, as the case were in those days, trying to clear or do clearance or whatever it is to be able to access the pension that was due them. And in order to make life really better, the Pension Act 2004 came into effect, and by 2006, pension fund administrators and pension fund managers were appointed. to oversee the asset and people contributing. But one of the fears that a lot of people expressed at that time was to say, really, given the poor remuneration of public officers and saying what would say 15% of their income really amount to by the time they are retiring. And so a lot of people were really very worried about the possibility of that fund growing and they're able to really live on it. And then there were other people who were also worried that, of course, there'll be issues with compliance because you find smart people who are also taking advantage of that space to line up their pockets, and because of the corruption that has been in the pension scheme over the years. And this is the real worry, because we're looking at it as somebody who is retiring at 60, for example. If he lives up to 90, he has about 30 years in front of him. And with this spiraling inflation, and you are wondering, what is this money actually put into? And if you take that figure and you redistribute it, you will see that it's paltry compared to the number of people who are working, and especially those who are to really steps to allow that asset to grow faster and yield better return, so that those who had work can reap where they
The popular parents, right? IT upgrade give customers unexpected headache. This was something. This was a headline that actually touched to my heart, because it's something that's been going on for a few months now. 100% information is available. The information technology infrastructure maintenance left many Nigerians frustrated and unable to access their funds. On October 1st, 2024, the same bank announced that it was undertaking routine maintenance of its IT infrastructure to improve the quality of its services. Now, these services include mobile banking app, the USSD service, the internet banking, and their corporate internet banking platforms. And we said, emphasize, we will be unavailable between the hours of midnight and 2:30 p.m. So we're talking about 15 hours without specifying the exact nature of this maintenance. Well, I decided that I shouldn't mention. And it's not just the bank, there are about 4 of them this past month.
Yeah, I think it's important. That's what technology, that is that side of technology, that you're embracing any technology, the interoperability of the technology in terms of integrating
Yes.
the system into
Yes.
a new one. It's always very difficult. And don't also forget that most of the time, this technology too, they are not indigenous to us. And you also have to rely on some people who are the back end, the real back end, because our back end here is like a sub back end, to be able to give you.
These are excuses that these banks give.
No, it's not about the bank. It's
15 hours, Doc, without telling me
oh yeah,
or you why
yeah.
you are taking 15 hours off.
Along
I can't access my money.
some of those banks were actually migrating their software.
Let your customers.
Yeah, of course, it's there on the space. You see, the way news are taken is that the bank is doing all its bits to appeal to its customers to say, look, we are migrating software, we are having challenges, there are downtime. And then, of course, if you are, some of these banks send notices to customers to actually update them on the internet to say, well, we have a challenge, we are trying to resolve it, everything is okay. People should not unduly panic. And I think that is what it is. We don't have...
Look, I think your money is coming from outside.
Well,
You're standing in the gap for them. You're taking the blow. You're stepping in and you're taking the blow for them.
Not really.
Because this will not happen in the West.
It does happen because there are glitches everywhere.
It won't happen. they won't take 15 hours and not tell customers what's going to happen, why they're taking 15 hours.
Yeah, it's not as if they are not telling. That's what I'm saying. If you actually get out there, there are notices, and I can give a few banks that I have received notices that look, well, maintenance things won't.
Don't give us stuff, please.
Yeah. So I don't want to call banks' name, but what I'm saying is, I have about 3 or 4 banks that have had notices in the past 1 week to say, oh, they have challenges and they're fixing it, and so that's why we come to know that they're changing softwares and it's affecting operation.
From Oracle
Yeah,
to
but you see,
FlexiCube.
but what that is that it's something that is beyond the bank's power to do, because they don't have internal people here operating those softwares. And so they have to also rely on a third party for supply and the rest of it. And this, of course, take time. So it's better to under promise and over deliver than to over promise and under deliver. So if they tell you 15 hours, that's just less than a day.
Dog, you win.
That's just less than a day.
Win. You and the banks.
No, nobody's winning here. It's just a system, sir, that you can have a glitch, and that is happening globally.
We understand that.
We're all in technology, and we don't have a hands on technology, and something can happen, and then, of course, everybody's working hard to figure it out. That is what is happening. And I think there will be apologies from the appropriate quarters.
Let them pay some little token into
for discomfort.
Yes.
15 hours is too small.
The apologies the customers will not take.
And by the way, really, at least some of you will have to sit down this evening and then not go out to and save some money.
But the sitting down still doesn't change what the activity. It doesn't change the activity. It's just a different location. Business Daily Kenya. Property auctions surge as defaults hit 674 billion shillings. Soft economy and costly credit spur is causing ongoing distress. That is affecting them, and also banks step up recovery efforts. Doc, your thoughts on this?
I'm already very worried about.
Auction is usually a dicey thing, but when
what it is in the African bank, I think the regulators need to do more. Yeah, but the bank want to do business.
It's clear.
And they are coming to you to tell you, come and take facility. And you are willing to take those facilities to run a business. But in your heart and in the heart of the bank, who is giving you the facility, they already know that the economy is not able to actually deliver that value.
That's strange.
Yeah. And that's why a lot of people are complaining about the high interest rates for loan in Africa. In Uganda, it's about 40%.
All the money made.
Oh, yeah. So how do you invest 100 naira and expect to make 40 naira profit?
That's not even just profit. That's what you're going to give up.
It's crazy.
It is.
It's crazy. And I think this is one issue that regulators must also be looking at. That whatever are the factors that are responsible for these high lending rates, can we drag them down so that we can be in the space of the West, where lending is happening at 2%, happening at 5%, and in worst case, in some places, it's 9%. That's tolerable. But again, what this means is that the bank won't give you without a collateral. So you have securitized your facility. When you are defaulting, they put a lien on it and then give you a for sale value. And they take the property and they have to auction.
And they sell it off as soon as they get it.
Oh, yeah. See, that is what is happening right there. Unfortunately, some of us have no money, would have gone to buy houses in Kenya.
Really? Okay. From the intelligence section of the paper, I always like to read the intelligence section, and I quote, it's always a quote: corruption will only begin subsiding as we start graduating from bad politics, end of quote. It is an insightful article. You can find it on page 9. How bold
Yeah, but what is bad politics really?
politics is when people put themselves in government. Bad politics is when 10 people came to vote, and when the results come out, the results are for 100 people. Bad politics is what you talk about on the show every day, where people are supposed to do their jobs, but they're not doing their jobs. Instead, they're taking money away from the coffers. I could go on about bad politics. So.
Yeah, but you see, the challenge for me is
Bad politics is having a 40-car convoy when all you need 2 cars.
yeah, I think it is far more than what people do with power.
Okay.
But also having to realize that the process of getting power here can be very cumbersome. My friend and partner,
be, right?
my friend and partner asked me yesterday and said, "Will you ever consider playing in politics?"
Yes, I can answer for you straight away.
And I told him, I got redemption since 2003.
What does that mean?
That I refused to participate.
No.
You see,
so Doc, if you're appointed right now as a senior special advisor to the president, you wouldn't take the job to affect the lives of the people.
Well, you may be asking to what extent that you are going to touch life of people. I remember there was
Doc, is a yes or no answer?
No, it can't be yes or no. Otherwise, you just put me on the spot. Yeah, but I have to give a context to the conversation.
Okay.
Some few months back, a lady who was a special advisor to one of our vice president was lamenting, and I think it was in a church service, and where people, I think it was precisely, I think one church here in the island, and they were asking, and she took the microphone and said, what makes her feel very bad is that for 4 years working with that vice president, that 97% of the people who came to seek audience with the vice president never came to ask anything for their community. They only came to ask for themselves. That is really the bad politics.
That's part of it.
You see, you elect a legislature to go and make law for the good governance of your state. They are doing wedding in your village. He must attend all of them.
He's giving away big monies too.
If he must come back to campaign, he must attend all the burials. He must attend all the church and the mosque event. Now,
and that's the clause, if he must come back.
If he must come back. And therefore, they have to struggle to look for ways and means to be able to excuse themselves. A lady is pregnant. The husband is calling on the member of rep or member of assembly. My wife wants to give birth. We need hospital bill. Of all these issues, and what put pressure on the politician. I know of a certain auntie of ours who was going to contest election in Delta State about, I think it was 2019. He took money from everywhere. The one she had, She has finished it, and she was borrowing from anybody who was close. And they say, okay, there's still one more community leader to be settled. They are looking for money. Now, I've done all these settlements with loan. And then you now want the person to go into office and is working,
not be
building hospital, building good roads, and then is indebted to the bank, is indebted to private individuals, and he cannot pay back. You can eat your cake and have it.
You're right, though.
So this is where Africa really finds itself.
Yep.
And I ask people, really, it's not just about leadership alone. When you are asking people, I was listening to one skit the other day, or a video of a man who felt that he knew, and he said, oh, a certain aspirant in 2023 election actually bought his slot in one party for 1 billion naira. So, for those who are playing there, it's investment.
It is.
I was telling him, I said, you see, if you say, for example, if you go to my state now and you see a number of people who are on the queue to become governor, the queue is very long. And the only way for me to cut short the queue is I must have big money to pay some people off so that I can get to the front. It's the reality we deal with. We must not be ashamed or afraid to talk about it. So when we come on air and we are talking about, oh, our politicians are bad, they're not doing well, our politicians, they are stealing money. What? Why won't they steal money? We have to pay so much.
The precedents.
For them to be able to get into office. If you think it's easy, you go and try it in your village now, contest now, and win now, become councillor so that you can serve your people well. Be able to do that.
How do we put an end to this, though?
It's difficult. Very difficult. Because as long as the people are still asking you to come and settle them before they vote for you, and if you don't settle, no matter what grammar you speak, they will not vote for you. Just the last concluded election, you saw Pastor Pata speaking that even member of his party took money and voted against him.
He wouldn't know that.
This is where we find ourselves. So we must tell ourselves honest truth. We can't be playing holier than thou when we come on air and telling people, oh, yeah, these people must do much. You want to see that these guys are putting money on the ground to win it.
True.
Because it's not coming by free.
True.
So since it's not free and people are investing, and you are saying that they cannot recoup their investment, then you must be a very bad person. And I don't have such energy and such money, so it's difficult for me to participate.
So that's how you wrap it up, though.
That was why I said I was redeemed in 2023.
That's how you
2003, yeah.
No, but the what I asked you, the question I asked you, doesn't require you to part with funds. It's an appointment.
Oh my God! I really wish you know the path to this appointment.
Really?
Oh yes.
Doc, I need to know. We'll visit that.
You know what they call osusu?
No, I don't.
They check your dictionary. Maybe Google can tell you.
I will check right after this. How Bolt Uber plans to bar rogue drivers. Doc, this is something that we should even be looking at in Nigeria as well. So both companies are working on a joint system, which has also partnered with the National Transport and Transport Safety Authority, that will see errant drivers suspended or locked out of all apps. Now, both of them, in the push to improve passenger safety. And you know, when they have those things, when those drivers err, what they usually do is they stay away from one app, Bolt, for instance, and continue on Uber. So I like the collaboration they're doing with the Transport Authority. And you know, I always tell people, one of the things to do, if you book your ride, forward the I think it's called the safety, what's it called now? There's a part where you forward your ride details to someone. You know, on a few occasions, people have done that and the driver cancelled right after it was forwarded, because the driver knows you forwarded it, for instance. Like I call a cab now, maybe I have children or stuff, or and I forward the ride details to you. The driver that was almost here canceled the ride.
Wow.
And many times things have happened, stories are stories for days about all this. So this is a
Yeah, I think so. I had an experience, and I think it was in Kano earlier in the year. We booked a ride from the hotel to the airport, and we were waiting for a Toyota to come. And it was a Mercedes that came.
That's okay too.
Will they say?
They've explained same number plates.
Same number plates.
Then that's fishing.
Yeah, something is wrong.
Yes. But it was a different car with a different.
Yeah, but because the security feature is actually to help you see, okay, the car you booked is a Toyota, this is the number, and this is the color, and this is the driver's name.
Because you know those things don't change. Even
so,
when you're
at least so when you are seeing the car, you know that this is the car that you actually booked. Now, but this one was so strange. And man was trying to explain all of this. I said, look, and I said to my friend, please let him just go. Let's cancel this ride. Because you cannot book a Toyota and Mercedes and they are the same plate number.
That's where the issue is. For different vehicles, that can happen.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it takes sometimes what I found out, it takes some time to migrate the vehicle. Like when you change, for instance, your new car comes today. So to take all the perks, to put in place for that to change on your profile. But where it's the same number plate, that means someone unscrewed it.
Yeah, so what if you are changing your car, really? You can't just migrate it into a system.
That's what I'm saying.
You have to follow the process.
That's what I'm saying. So
before you start to use it.
True. That's what it should
be. Yeah, the security. But that's before you start to use it.
That's not what it is.
So you can't just remove plate number and put it on a new car and then start driving, because that becomes very suspicious. And I think it's quite difficult that you see this happen.
It is.
From time to time. And, you just have to be really effective.
Beaten, people have been kidnapped, you know.
I heard a story like that. I think it was in Toronto 2 months ago, when a lady was picked up by a ride, and then virtually the body was found by the waterside and was dead, murdered. So sometimes we just have to understand that the security of people is important, and then the owner of these hailing companies must continue to improve security measures so that people can continue to have confidence in.
And one can never really, really overemphasize the importance of being cautious.
Yeah.
You can't, because sometimes when you mention that, they say, no, you're paranoid, you're thinking too much about it. Yeah, it's okay. It's a different car.
No.
And by then the damage is done, and it's usually almost irreparable.
Yeah. You see happen every other place. So they come down, wind down the classes and say, Hans, is that you? So you say yes, and then they open the door, and then you can enter, because even you who is booking a ride, your security details also must be integrated. And to that very extent, and I think we might even go to that point where we really need to begin to emphasize card system in Africa, so that even people who are booking ride, their details also are there, because the life of the driver is also very significant.
No, but I've also heard a story where the driver was wrong. His car was taken.
That's what I'm talking about. Their lives are significant. So we must also make provision for them, that whoever is booking a ride, that we have their NIN, BVN to their card, and it's activated. So you cannot book a ride if you don't have your card on the app. So that both way, everybody is secured.
True. You have everyone's detail. Find them. All right, security paramount. Let's keep on that. Business Day South Africa. Kyanyago highlights SA's positive outlook. So Kyanyago is the Reserve Bank governor, what is the central bank for us here. And he told MPs on Thursday yesterday that the country's economy and inflation outlook was showing several positive trends, including the considerable strengthening of the SA rand against the dollar. You know, when they talk and sound like this, it's good to hear, it's good to see, but what's actually really happening? Because the economy was rebounding, and they're promising that inflation is kept in check. for both consumers and businesses. And the confidence was improving. It's a lot of talk.
You see, you hear that from government a lot. And of course, some people must have to keep their job and tell you that they are doing their work. That's important anyway. But my real worry is that somehow the few things we celebrate may not actually be as a result of the effort that anybody is making. It could just be natural. Just I was having a school support yesterday, and I was telling, see, look at pricing of tomato, for example. It's not having to do with whether a bank is putting good fiscal policy or controlling inflation. It's just in the season. The law of demand and supply. So if goods are in abundant supply, what do you have? You will have reduced cost. Then inflation can be going down. But what if goods and services is not in their season? That's when you know whether your measures are working. To see if you have actually built a lot of silos or you have cold storage facilities to actually regulate price across board. Now, if you have not invested in any of all this and the logistics has been as it is, it's not changed, and then of course you are celebrating that you are seeing some positive outlook, it's just a way to amplify your CV so that at least people see that you are doing some work. But we have to see what are the definite things that are put on the ground that is actually making this rebound.
Exactly.
Is it we have made more investment now in infrastructure and we are seeing that logistics is going to cost cheaper?
The same thing I was talking about the bank.
Yeah.
You give reasons.
Oh, yeah. So have we been able to invest in storage facilities right now, such that warehousing and the rest of it that we can actually take from surplus season and keep for the rainy day so that we can stabilize price across the year? Have we done anything in that regard? So if you have not done all of that, and we are just reacting to the forces of market, which means, of course, when you are in surplus season, you expected that price go down naturally. But when we know whether your policies are working is when you are not in the surplus, and then people are able to see whether you're actually making profit or you are making some headway. The government will continue to talk about because some people have been paid to do that.
You see those ideas, you have those fantastic ideas, which is why you will take those the appointment.
Well, I have not done Osusu there.
Egg prices ease, but climbing veggie price hits consumers. You know, last time on the show we talked about how floods have been affecting farmers and them growing crops, and we also talked about the next edition. We talked about importation of 5 million eggs. Doc. Then now they're talking about this, that egg has eased up, that the problem now is vegetables. So news, egg imports ease the market, but supply shortage based on rain and floods now drive up the price of vegetables.
Yeah.
I know you love agric.
Well,
is this rainy season? This is not the...
Yeah, it's for and then, of course, these are the effects of global warming that people talk about. Water level is rising, and so it's causing flood all across the globe. And this is as a result of humans who have abused their natural ecosystem by way of development. And we are digging so much, we are taking so much from nature, our habitat that God had given to us. We have so abused and manipulated it, and now nature is fighting back at us, and this is responsible for hunger, and we are paying so much for it. And this is why people are talking about sustainability, that why we are thinking of having a good life today, we must also be conscious of ensuring that our future is preserved, that the life of our children and our children's children are meaningful. So what we have seen today is that the enjoyment of yesterday is putting the generation of today under very terrible circumstances. It's unfortunate.
For the building of roads and infrastructure to block, and part of what's causing these problems.
Oh, yeah. And it's not just a road. If it were a road, of course, we can build bridges and actually allow those things pass on that. But I think it's even people who are building houses to block natural waterways.
Yes. The flow is,
And we
water must flow.
And we are filling the body of water and pushing water.
You can't push water. Doc, I know a school in Ikoyi. Let me not be too exact. They have taken, okay, it's beside the waters, you know how it's on the bank, you know. They took behind their property, they took about 400 meters water, and they're filling it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing legal about that, because the water will find, like they say, water will find level.
Yeah, but you can have the certificate from government to do that, but nature will not give you any certificate.
Exactly.
So that is where the problem is. So you see that nature fight back from time to time, and these are some of the repercussions that we find when nature fights.
All right, Doc, thank you so much for being on the show as usual. Your insightful words always bless us on the show and you listening. It's SOUQ Business Landscape. My name is Hans Mbah. Stay tuned at 8 o'clock for early exchange. Bye for now.